Hey, it's Chris Aiken from the Classic Metal Show, and I want to invite you to my first ever public book signing. I'll be doing a special reading, question and answer session, and a signing of my new book, Little Victories, A Tale of Divorce, Debauchery, and Finding Happiness on Thursday, March 20th at Visible Voice Books, located at 1023 Kenilworth Road, Cleveland, Ohio, 44113. I'll have a limited supply of Little Victories on hand to sign. I'll be reading selections from Little Victories, as well as telling stories and reading some material that was left out of Little Victories. I'll end with a Q&A session that will be a no-holds-barred affair. The signing will be from 7 to 9 p.m. at Visible Voice Books, 1023 Kenilworth Road, Cleveland, Ohio, 44113. Come out, have some fun, and be a part of a rare appearance from me, Chris Aiken. It is your Classic Metal Show right here on theclassicmetalshow.com. That little nice, friendly song was won by the Adrenaline Mob. The song was called Come On, Get Up. And on the phone right now, we have the one, the only, the guitarist of the Adrenaline Mob, Mr. Mike Orlando. Mike, how are you, man?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be on the show.
Excellent, Mike. Well, Mike, I'm going to start right off by clearing up a rumor that I heard. I heard that the real reason that Mr. Portnoy has left the Adrenaline Mob was because you decided that there were too many mics in the band.
Yeah, that would be kind of funny. But definitely not true. If anybody, Russ would be sick of the mics because his other band has 3 mics in it.
That's right. Well, maybe that's one of his job requirements for working with him is you have to be named Mike somehow.
There you go. I'm going to have to talk to him about that.
Very nice, man. Well, Mike, I got to tell you honestly, I loving the new record. And I'll tell you even more honestly, didn't love the first record. Thought the first one was okay. You know, it was okay, but it was just kind of eh. This one here, it has a lot more flavor to it, has a lot more meanness to it, which, you know, for me personally, I love it, man. Is that kind of where you guys were? Was that you went a little heavier, a little harder, or is that just kind of where it went?
No, I mean, you know, musically, you know, again, it's the same pairing as the writing team as myself and Les Plowin. You know, I'll work and do all the writing of the music and the drums and bass guitar and whatever ideas vocally and melodically I have, I meet up with my partner in crime and we wrap it all together in a nice package. And I just kind of, with the songs from Men of Honor, I just wanted to kind of take it a step further. I wanted to turn the page on the band, but still keep the sound a little cohesive, but also production-wise, you know, I engineered and mixed and mastered the whole album at my own studio, Sonic Stomp, which we recorded all the albums at, but this one was definitely, you know, turnkey from start to finish, you know, done over there, and then we do the vocals at Russ's place, always.
Sure.
But I wanted to make sure, you know, the production was just as big, so I spent just as much time working on the sound of the album and the way I mixed it and mastered it and everything. So it's kind of big and punchy and warm, and you know, you could feel the songs. I wanted it to be more song-driven and just more kind of a guttural punch. You know, when we do go heavy, but when we lighten up, it's nice and soft. So I paid attention to more of the production, you know, just as much as the songs.
Sure. Now, Mike, talk a little bit about your guitar playing specifically, and what I'll point to, especially on Men of Honor, that I really didn't hear as much of on Omerta, was it seems like you really tried to stretch out, I don't want to say stretch out as a player, but stretch out the different sides of your playing on this one. As an example, you know, the intro to Men of Honor is, you know, very light and acoustical until it breaks in. And then there's parts on like Come On Get Up that are just raging newer metal sounding. And then there's other places like in Dearly Departed where you kind of almost show sort of an 80s flair. You know, was that you on this record really trying to stretch out what you do as a player, or were you just trying to fit what fit the songs, or what?
It wasn't. It wasn't intentional. It's just I like so many styles and kinds of music and genres that I have a lot of different influences, and some come out in some ways, and in some songs it comes out this way. And Behind These Eyes is a really nice, beautiful singing lead at the end, but then fast forward to House of Lies, and it's ripping your face, or Just Let Go, and it's ripping in your face solos, in and out, boom, like a punch, know. It just depends on the song. Like I said, the songs come first, so it's really all about the groove, and I take a lot of time writing the drums and the bass line and rhythmic stuff. So, the vision is what I'm feeling. Before I even go to Russ, I have, the first time I was there, it was 13 to 17 songs were already musically tracked. So it's like, I paid a lot of attention to the groove and the bounce, and then the solos come after, so it's just like, I just have fun. I know where the song should go, so I just go in that vibe,
Definitely.
Just trying to show different styles and sides of my playing. I try to keep the listener interested, and I want it to be enjoyable and just not over and over and over the same thing,
Definitely. Well, let's get to the piece that you have to answer every time. I'm not going to ask you the exact reasons why Portnoy left, but obviously that's the biggest focal point that people are on. The question that I kind of have is not so much why he left, because whatever, it doesn't matter. He's not there. What I think does matter though is that at least outside looking in, Mike was the focal point when the band started, and he was the reason that the band got attention, and he did the lion's share of the interviews on the first record and whatnot. Now with him leaving the project, does that leave a big hole for you guys to fill, or do you find yourself fighting against the stereotype that this is a band versus a Mike Portnoy project without Mike Portnoy?
Well, yeah, but you're always going to think that. People think Mike founded the band, and it couldn't be further than the truth. I actually started the band and brought it to Russell, and I had been doing it way before I even was with Russ. I had been working on this. So, but when me and Russ met, and I was like, I had an old band called Adrenaline Fuel Junkies, which all the songs actually made it onto, except maybe one. I'm going to say 8 of 9 tracks musically are exactly, are from the Adrenaline Fuel Junkies sessions.
Okay.
So then me and Russ got together and morphed it into, we became, an incredible team, and boom, that was Adrenaline Mob. And Mike Portnoy actually joined the band after Omerta was fully recorded. All the vocals were done, all the guitars were done, all the solos were done. Mike came and laid drums down on the album, so he was the last link. In the integral puzzle of what is Omerta. So really, that's not where the sound came from. We had a great time with Mike, playing, and did 2 great albums and some really kick-ass tours and stuff. But no, it's not. There's no hole left because it's business as usual for me and Russ.
Okay.
We write all the stuff, and it's the same with Men of Honor. Everything is done musically. I write all the drums, guitar, and bass, and I take whatever vocal melodies I have and lyrics, and I go to Russ, and we sit down. And I go, hey man, this is what I want to talk about. This is what I think I'm feeling. What are you feeling? Boom, and then we work all the vocals and melody over all of the music that I had already, worked on prior to coming to Russ. And it works real great. We have a great relationship in the studio, and no, it really had nothing to do with Mike. And the reason why it didn't leave a hole is because, again, the songs are more based. I think the band's based on a hard rock sound, and there's the formula. It wasn't about a drummer or a guitar player or a singer.
Right. Sure. Well, we'll talk about his replacement a little bit, AJ Pirro. Most people remember him from Twisted Sister. How does he come into the mix with you guys? And well, let's start there. How does he come into the mix with you guys?
Well, there's like three main reasons. First one is I've been best friends with the guys for about 20 years.
Okay.
Secondly, it's really easy. I can throw a stone at his house right now. So he's like, right? We're both from Staten Island, New York, and have played in so many different things together, me and him. Thirdly, it was real easy because I am in another band with him, which is entitled Tread, and it's myself and AJ and Rudy Sarzo and Tim Ripper-Owens.
Oh, wow.
So it's something that I'm doing as well. And, but completely has nothing to do with the freight train that is Adrenaline Mob, But that's where AJ comes into play. I've been musically tied to him for a really long time. So.
Okay, excellent. Now, what he brings to the sound is to me is an improvement, and it's kind of hard to say that when you obviously there's no questioning Portnoy's skills, but it's almost like where on the first record, and I think this is the reason that I wasn't really loving Omerta, was because of it was like every little nook and cranny was filled with something, with a guitar sound or a drum sound or something, where this you guys kind of left a lot of the songs a little bit more open and a little more 4/4 time-ish without overkilling instrumentally, which I think is a perfect fit for what you guys are going for now.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. The sound and the feel of the band, I feel, has never been better, and is the next step in the progression of a band. You always want to take the next step, and you always want to progress. And I think sound wise, it has went from 1 to 10. We're so happy. The songs are crafted to be more open, big, hard rock songs. That's what we are. We're a hard rock band. We're not coming out saying we're progressive or we're heavy metal. Listen, we're a rock band, and we're having a ball. And that's what it sounds like. And what better to get a drummer from one of the biggest rock bands out there, regardless if you don't like him or if you do or whatever. Twisted Sister, you're talking, over 20 million albums sold, and they're still one of the biggest rock bands out there. They still to this day play all the big festivals all over the place. 60, 70, 80,000 people. It's insane.
Sure.
Every show they do. So AJ is such a pro, and what's great about him is he has all of the incredible technique that you could ever want. All the stuff is. I've played the live set with him. I've played all the Omerta stuff already and all the Coverta stuff, and he does it like it's in his sleep. But what's great about him is, and I always say this, he drops a groove like a tank.
Right.
He's a little monster. He's a stocky little guy, but he just pounds those drums.
Right. Awesome.
And it shows. It shows in the songs.
Sure, definitely does. Well, talk a little bit about the lyrical stuff, and I'm sure maybe that's more of a Russell question than you, but it definitely seems like some of this stuff has some real message to it. Men of Honor specifically really seems like that's taking a shot at somebody.
Yeah. Well, lyrically, which is the same as Omerta. Me and Russell do all the lyrics and all the melodies together. So we're, lyrically, that's what we do. We complete the song, and we talk about what we want to talk about. So there's, it's right down the line, what we both want to say in a song.
Okay.
Lyrically, yeah. Well, there's definitely some cool double entendres in the song. You have your Dearly Departeds, and Men of Honor is definitely sure. It's me and Russell take the Men of Honor thing not only kind of like a fun play at the mobbish mafia type twist to the band, which is a really fun aspect of it, but it is also like we're honoring this band. We're going to keep going for as long as we can. We're going to do it until we can't do it. So, and we're going to honor it. There's no walking away. Whereas, we do take that as, we ain't going nowhere.
Right.
You could leave, that's fine.
Right.
But we're not, and that's really, again, I know there's the whole, well, what happened? It really didn't. There's nothing behind it other than, listen, hey, Mike wanted to go do his own thing, and God bless him. Great drummer, one of the best, and he does a ton of different projects.
Right.
And I always said to Mike, God bless you, man. It's so cool that you could always do that, and do so many different things. I don't like that. I'm not about a million projects. If I do something, I put my heart in it and just kind of try and, give that the best we can. You can't do that when there's someone else doing so many different things. So it was like, well, I'm going to go do this for a while. And me and Russ are like, well, that's great, but we're not stopping.
Right. No,
So
and nor should you. Yeah. You know, it's ironic, kind of, that he's had that happen twice, because that's literally what happened in Dream Theater too. Is the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't comment on any of the Dream Theater or Revenge stuff. I mean, they're both incredible bands, but yeah, it's real. There is no, well, what happened? Mm-hmm. Well, we weren't stopping. Nothing will stop me and Russ, and we move right on. You know, and that's it. It's like, okay, you can't, no problem. Moving on right into the studio, next album.
Right.
It's unfortunate, but you know, one door closes and another incredible door opens, and it enters AJ Pirro and takes the sound of the band actually even more intense.
Absolutely.
So, and you know, everybody stepped it up. John Moyer he's incredible on this album. Mm-hmm. I say that this all the time, and it's one of his best performances ever. He played because I write all the bass lines with my fingers. I play bass. I don't use a pick.
Okay.
I'm just not my bass idol is John Entwistle, so that's like the god of bass to me, you know.
Sure.
And John took on the feat. It was like, hey man, you know, this is how, you know, everything is sounding. We're going for a different thing. And man, he rose to the occasion, played the entire album with his fingers, and just killed it. You know, so everybody's just stepping it up.
Sure, and even with John, it's a different. I mean, how he plays is one thing, but the style that he's playing, at least from what most people know of him, you know, from Disturbed, totally different style. I mean, this is more of a follow the drummer rhythmic style versus Disturbed that was more follow the guitar player and, you know, bounce to the guitar player. So
yeah, and I'm a huge Disturbed fan. I love those guys.
Sure.
But this is more of that big rock. You know, I always envisioned bass, and I love how Men of Honor came bass-wise, because, you know, everything was written to be like that, kind of like a really like a hard rock version of, or a metal type infused Entwistle meets John Paul Jones meets, you know, that kind of stuff, where it's just like that really cool moving bass lines, and, you know, that's how it came across in my head, and John killed it, and he made that came to life. So.
Sure. Well, Mike, before I let you go, man, what am I missing that you want people to know, and give the plugs and all of that stuff?
Yeah, just, you know, the album is out, Men of Honor, in the States, across North America. The European release comes out February 24th. Check it out. I hope you guys dig it. We are super, super proud of it, and we hope to hit the road in North America at the end of May. And just go out and get it, man. I think you guys will really dig it. Crank it up loud.
Excellent. Well, Mike, before I let you go, I have to ask you the traditional Classic Metal Show question. We've literally asked this to 1,000 guys at this point in 18 years, and I'm going to assume that you have an answer for this. How has Lemmy from Motorhead influenced your career?
Oh, jeez. Any rock guy. Who doesn't love Motorhead? I mean, just influences you in songwriting and you know, just that attitude, that rock and roll, I don't give a you know what about anything type. I'm going to do my thing, and that's it. And geez, I think he's influenced, you know, every rock player out there, period.
Sure.
You know, loved him.
Excellent.
Just we did Sweden Rock with him, and just got to watch him, and it's just like mouth was dropped. It's just incredible.
Excellent, man. Well, Mike, as we said, the new album is called Men of Honor. It is the Adrenaline Mob. It is out now. And Mike, as a tradition on the show, we always let the artist pick a closing track from the new record and tell us a story about it. So what would you like us to end with?
I'm going to say Judgment Day. And one thing I will add about Men of Honor is what's really cool about it is I do a lot of the singing on the album as well. All of the come on, get up screams and all the yell, and it's all me singing. It's
awesome.
kind of a new aspect of it. So Judgment Day, actually the verses are all me and Russ singing a line, he sings a line, I sing a line, he sings a line. And I love that between me and him. I think it really came across really cool on this album. So I'm really proud of that track especially.
All right, well, let's check it out right now. This is Judgment Day. It's the Adrenaline Mob right here on your Classic Metal Show. Hey, it's Chris Aiken from the Classic Metal Show. Most people know me as the foul-mouthed shock jock from the Classic Metal Show, or the no-nonsense heavy metal critic from pitriff.com. Now you get to learn the other side. My first book, Little Victories, A Tale of Divorce, Debauchery, and Finding Happiness, comes out on January 13th in paperback and digital formats on Amazon and iTunes. It details my real-world emotional struggles over a year that included a divorce after a quarter-century of marriage and the death of my father. It profiles things I did right, as well as a bevy of things that I did wrong with the help of alcohol, and how I found my way out of the muck of the emotional state that almost saw me commit suicide. Pre-order your copy of Little Victories, A Tale of Divorce, Debauchery, and Finding Happiness today at www.chrisaikenbooks.com and get in touch with the more fallible side of me, Chris Aiken. Sounds happy, huh?